So the Ottawa Community Foundation is here and they are doing amazing things in our community. To speak about it is the president, the CEO. His name is Marco Pagani. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Dylan. Thank you very much for having us today.
You're very welcome. What you do in this community is incredible. I was reading the notes, obviously, prepping for this segment, and I'm like, wow, this is a guy who just knows where the need is, how we can help people, what we can do more. But you have a background where you weren't always in this, you were in something else. So tell us a bit about your story.
Well, my story was born in a fantastic immigrant Italian family, the oldest of four boys. My parents were my heroes. We had entrepreneurial businesses growing up. Went to university, graduated, ended up in the technology arena, and then ended up running billion-dollar plus businesses.
Wow.
And did some cool things. I feel very, very blessed. And now I'm in this vocation, which I truly love.
Okay, so how did you get to be a part of the Ottawa Community Foundation?
Well, I guess when my predecessor, Barb McInnes, had announced her retirement, I think in February of 2013, the board got on this path of bringing in somebody kind of different. They used language like next level. So we were introduced, I think, late summer of 2013. Started engaging, and they decided this is the guy we want to put at the helm, and I started January of 2014.
Very good work, and what you've done already has been pretty incredible. And I don't mean to just, drag out all the amazing things you've done, but it's just been wonderful. I hope you're going to do it and not be too modest, is what I'm saying here, okay? Because the Ottawa Community Foundation, well, I mean, first tell us a bit about your mandate.
Well, Community Foundation started about 100 years ago. This banker in Cleveland had this idea to bring philanthropists together and pool their financial resources. So philanthropy, by definition, is the love of humankind. A philanthropist is somebody that typically gives money to the charitable sector. So they pooled dollars, they invested those dollars, they put those dollars in a vehicle called an endowment, and the return on that investment was what helped fuel the support of charities in their city. 100 years later, Cleveland has over $2 billion in assets, and they've given out over $2.1 billion to their local community. That spawned a worldwide network. There's 1,900 community foundations across the world. There are 191 in Canada. We are one of the top 7 or 8 in the country. We all operate as independent entities with our own governance structure. And primarily, when it boils right down to it, a community foundation is 2 things. We are a funder of the charitable sector. So in fact, we are a $130 million funder locally of the 1,800 charities that reside in our city. And the second thing we are is we're really the alternative to philanthropists that want to set up their own private foundation. So there's a lot of detail about what a private foundation is, but primarily it's a structure that facilitates giving that falls under a regulatory framework, and in Canada it's under the Canada Revenue Agency regulations. So we're one of 191 in Canada that serve our community.
So $130 million, I mean, so where would that money have come from?
So philanthropists, so people that are generous, and we couldn't do anything without the generous donors in our city, decide that they want to maximize impact, and we call that impact philanthropy, by giving through us. So they give us money. They have one of 3 ways of engaging. They can be very prescriptive on where the dollars go, and that's called a donor-advised relationship. They could be field of interest oriented, so we're the only funder in the city that covers the full spectrum of causes: arts and culture, environment, healthcare, social services, animal rights. So they could say, I care about arts and culture, I don't know who the players are, here's the money, take care of them. Or they can be fully discretionary, so here's the money, do what you think you need to do to maximize the impact.
And we have a lot of these philanthropists?
So we have 900 fund holders today, so there's up to 900. 3 years ago we had about 700. We've grown significantly in terms of the amount of assets over the last 3 years. We're bringing in on average about $16 million a year, and we're giving out about $11 million a year annually to the various charities within our city.
And here it is, and here's the stuff I wanted you to talk about, obviously, right? And it's so important to highlight the things you're doing. And I see this word collaboration, and in 2016 you did some incredible stuff as well.
So collaboration is one of our guiding principles. We care about a few things. We care about evidence-based decision making, we care about systems-oriented approaches to solving problems, and we care about cross-sectoral partnerships, and that's where collaboration comes along. So a really good 2016 example was when the Syrian refugee crisis hit. Late in 2015, the mayor the United Way, the Ottawa Community Foundation, a number of local settlement organizations and sponsorship agencies got together and basically orchestrated a coordinated, synchronized response. We were able to bring in 2,000 refugees. We raised a lot of money. The Ottawa Community Foundation alone injected $1.1 million in 2016 to facilitate the integration of Syrian refugees into our beautiful city.
Okay, and you've also got the Market Mobile Food Initiative?
Yeah, so Market Mobile, we were introduced to Market Mobile. So they are a program, a food services program that runs out of the Rideau Rockcliffe Health and Resource Center. We introduced something in 2014, my first year, called the New Leaf Community Challenge. It was a way to facilitate bringing a lot of money into a special issue area. We decided food was a good issue area.
Of course.
And the Market Mobile submitted a expression of interest. They were one of 3 finalists. We had a little bit of a Dragon's Den event that was public, and they ended up getting $125,000. And today
That's
they're
incredible.
Operating in a number of neighborhoods in our city.
And we're seeing some of the amazing pictures as well of the Market Mobile. So if people want to get on board with what you're doing, I mean, can just average people, they don't have to be like billionaire philanthropists?
Yeah, exactly. So that's a great question. We actually have funds. All you need is $5,000 to start a fund with the Community Foundation. So we have funds from $5,000 to $15 million. We care about what we refer to, as I said, impact philanthropy. We describe that as philanthropy that delivers positive, systemic, sustainable change to our community. So those are big words, but we really want to take a systems-oriented approach to moving the needle.
Okay.
You know, we happen to live in a city where we have 60,000 households that don't have access to healthy, affordable, nutritious food. 10,000 households that don't have affordable housing. 7,000 people use a shelter every year. And there's a number of other statistics. And our dream is to live in a city where all those numbers are going towards zero. So anybody and everybody should want to know us, understand us, and hopefully join us. And that's why we're in the middle of a rebranding this year.
And you're doing so many amazing things to help with all of those incredible causes that you just mentioned. So Marco Pagani from Ottawa Community Foundation, thank you for joining us here
Thank you
today.
very much. It was a pleasure.
More details, of course, please check out their website, which we've been flashing on the screen throughout the segment. More Daytime Ottawa coming up next.